What's up, you guys? I'm going to try to record this as quickly as possible because it is Friday and I just got back from the gym and I am hungry. But on one of my last videos, I think it was actually in my grocery haul, I mentioned that I bought a sweet potato and I was probably going to throw it in the slow cooker, and for some reason a bunch of you commented specifically about that sweet potato, that I should just throw it in, wrap it in a paper towel and throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And then also I got a few comments that I should put stuff on it, so like you should put peanut butter or a candy bar or something on it. So I decided I had a little bit of a sweet tooth today after my workout, so I decided to use that dang sweet potato up already. So what I did was I stabbed it a few times, like you said, wrapped it in a paper towel, damp paper towel, threw it in the microwave for about 6 to 7 minutes until it cooked through, and then I measured out about 100 grams of it because sweet potatoes tend to be a little more dense when it comes to calories and carbs and whatnot. So I took about 100 grams of the sweet potato, and then on top of that I put a little sludge that I made out of 1 scoop of Cellucor chocolate whey, 2 tablespoons of PB2, and you mix that up and then you very, very slowly add milk to it so it becomes like a thick sludge, kind of the consistency of peanut butter. I put that on top, then I of course needed to prettify it for you guys, so I put some Ready Whip on there. I crushed up 2 sweet potato chips on it because they are a little salty sweet and I really like that. And of course I put some sprinkles on it because everything tastes better with sprinkles on them. So I'm going to try that. I really hope it's tasty, but yeah, I wanted to let you know that I heard you guys' comments and I listened to them, and I hope you didn't steer me wrong. So I just finished that little post-workout meal that I made, and my verdict is undecided. I think there were 2 things that kind of went wrong. First of all, I don't think I cooked the sweet potato quite long enough. I like it when it's really, really, really mushy and just has no, like, it's just super mushy. Like, I don't like it when there's a little bit of crunch. And there was, like, a little bit of crunch in different places, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I think I'll have to microwave it for a longer period of time next time. And secondly, and kind of more importantly, I don't think I think it didn't taste as good as it could have because I wasn't really craving that food. I wasn't really craving overly sweet, peanut buttery, like thick, chocolate, mushy food. What I was craving was actually those sweet potato chips that I put on top, and that was actually my favorite part of the meal. I think I was so set on using that sweet potato, and on the way back from the gym I was so excited about the different things I could do. I didn't really tune in to my own hunger, and I didn't really tune in to my own appetite, so I realized that I was actually craving the sweet and salty crunchy flavors and textures rather than mushy chewy textures and the overly sweet flavors of the sweet potato mixed with that sludge. It didn't taste bad or anything, but I think it would have been much more satisfying if I had actually been craving that at the time. I think what I should have done instead is kind of sit down, figure out, okay, what is it that I'm craving? Obviously I wanted something crunchy, and I wanted something a little bit salty, and I wanted something a little bit sweet. I think if I had sat down and really tuned into my hunger and tuned into my appetite, I would have realized, oh, I don't want a microwave sweet potato with peanut butter on top. I don't really feel like that right now. What I want right now is something salt, something sweet, something crunchy. If I hadn't been so hell-bent on making this one recipe, and if I had done what I just said, I probably would have ended up eating a serving of those chips, and then making the sludge for the side, and I probably would have been much more satisfied with that. And I really should have kind of saved that recipe idea for later when I was actually craving it, instead of just trying to make it for the sake of taking cool pictures and being excited about it. So just to kind of wrap this up, I think next time, first of all, I'm going to buy the sweet potato again, and I'm going to try that again because I don't think it was actually bad. I think I just wasn't craving for it, and I think I just didn't enjoy it as much as I could if I had actually been craving something along those lines. But I'm definitely going to buy another sweet potato and try that again because I don't think you guys steered me wrong. I think I just got a little too excited about all your comments. We'll definitely be trying that again, but I will make a much more conscious decision about when I actually want to try it. That way, when I do try it out, and when I do have a final review of the microwaved sweet potato with stuff or without stuff on top, it'll actually be a more accurate interpretation of whether or not I like that. So, long tangent over, and now we're moving on to the next clip. It is Wednesday evening. I'm about to head to the gym in a few minutes here, but I wanted to show you guys kind of an interesting little pre-workout meal that I cooked up because it's very simple. It's just 2 ingredients. They're both from Costco. Really quick and easy to do. Basically what I did is I pan-fried some shrimp, and while that was cooking, I heated up 1 packet of Seeds of Change organic quinoa and wild rice blend. And it's pretty tasty. I'm about to have that. I usually like to have some sort of protein bar before I work out, and I usually don't like to have something super flavorful before I work out because this is garlicky and it's gonna be shrimpy because there's shrimp obviously, but I wanted to show you real quick because it was really simple to make. The shrimp was already cooked and it was frozen, so I just pan fried it, and the microwavable quinoa was also quick to prepare, so it took about 5 minutes, and it's probably gonna be pretty tasty, but I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. What's going on, you guys? It is Saturday, April 11th, and today is my non-track day. I've been as I mentioned a couple videos ago, I'm starting to incorporate 1 day a week, usually on the weekend, where I don't track my macros and I just try to eat as intuitively as possible. And one of my goals with these non-track days is actually to be able to incorporate being able to eat out at restaurants and not feel the need to gorge on all the food. And one of the purposes of these non-track days is to kind of learn to trust myself when I don't necessarily have control over the food. So let's say when somebody else is cooking it, or when I'm going out to a restaurant that doesn't necessarily have macros, and being able to integrate other people's cooking and restaurants without macros and just food that you can't necessarily track precisely. Incorporate that into my lifestyle without feeling like, oh my god, I cheated on my macros, I can't live anymore, I have to gorge myself, I have to binge on everything. Anyway, so like I said, today is my non-track day, and for the last few days I've been picking them to coincide with kind of more social events so that I'm able to learn how to be able to enjoy myself without making food the entire focus of the event, if that makes sense. But this week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different just because I didn't really make plans this week. But for me it's still really important to be able to get that out of my room experience and dining out somewhere experience on my non-track days, because that's a really big key for me, especially because I'm probably going to be working very long hours with my job, and I'm going to have to go out with I'm going to be going out with coworkers and going to different events and socials and whatnot where I'm going to need to be able to learn to eat and not necessarily track, so eat more intuitively. So being able to go out and kind of test myself and trust myself in a restaurant-like setting or in somebody else's house. That's something that's pretty important to my non-track days, especially as I'm incorporating them into my cut. So what I'm doing today feels kind of strange because I've never really done it before. Last night I decided that I wanted to go to an Indian buffet because I've really been interested in exploring kind of more Indian cuisine, and I feel I really like buffets for trying new foods out because it lets you kind of pick and choose what you like, and you don't feel like you're stuck with whatever you got, and then it doesn't feel like such a commitment to get to eat the whole thing. So if that makes any sense. So I did want to go specifically to a buffet, also because that is a really big weak point of mine, is going to a buffet and feeling like I need to eat everything. So I'm gonna be doing that today. I didn't make plans with anybody, so the weird thing is I'm going to be doing it alone, and I've never really gone into a restaurant alone, and I've always thought it was kind of awkward when people like go in and sit and eat by themselves. So I'm going to be doing that today, and it'll be really interesting, but it'll kind of also give me an opportunity to kind of sit with my thoughts and really be in tune to what I'm eating, and really, put things on my plate and decide, is this something I want to keep eating, or should I save my appetite for something that is tastier, that's better for me. So that'll be really interesting. I will most likely not actually be vlogging in the restaurant itself, just because I'll probably already kind of feel uncomfortable enough in the restaurant sitting by myself at a buffet. But I'll definitely try to get some footage of at least the food options that are available, because one of the things that I was considering as I was going into today is, should I record this for you guys, or should I kind of try to do this more for myself and kind of practice for myself before I show you guys anything. I'm still kind of experimenting with this, but then I realized that you guys have been so incredibly supportive. It's kind of ridiculous. You guys have been so supportive, and I've taken you through my journey thus far, and I really want to be able to share this with you. And just because I'm still learning doesn't mean that you can't be learning with me. To take you guys into the restaurant with me, hopefully they'll let me record or not say anything when I whip out my camera, but this is something that I want to share with people, and you're not, like, nobody's perfect right off the bat. Just because you read a book about something doesn't mean you're gonna be, you know, in this case, the intuitive eating book, just because you read a book about something doesn't mean that you're gonna be perfect at it right away. It doesn't mean that you're gonna have all of your skills mastered. So I did want to kind of show you kind of the trial and error of that. So I'm really looking forward to this meal. It's about 12:30 now. Like I say in previous videos, I don't really get hungry in the mornings. So I did have a snack on a little bit of deli meat beforehand just to kind of get my protein in and stay full. I'm hungry. I'm not like ravenous right now, but I am going to go to the restaurant, going to go to the buffet, and I will take you guys with me and hopefully talk about that a little bit later in the recap. Let's see how this goes. I'm pretty excited, and I feel like taking you guys along with me was a pretty good decision, and I'm really excited. I'm getting like little goosebumps. Oh, and I dressed up. Look, I'm not wearing fitness clothes. Okay, I'm wearing yoga pants, but I'm not wearing fitness clothes. I'm wearing like boots. This is my OOTD outfit of the day. I'm not that girly, you guys. It's pretty bad. Anyway, guys, enough stalling. Let's move on to the next clip. So I was pretty hungry when I got there just because it took a while to actually walk over to the restaurant, but I was really trying to eat slowly and appreciate the food and really be kind of in this hyper-conscious state of analyzing what it is that I'm doing and what I'm feeling and being aware of my body and kind of my mentality as well. I was really challenging myself to stop eating when I've had enough of something, not just eat stuff because it was there. So I would ask myself, does this taste good? Does it taste as good as when I had the first bite, or am I kind of over it? Is it kind of tasting dull at this point? Is this food still worthy of my appetite, or is there something else that I would enjoy more at the moment? And I found myself actually answering yes to that question. So some of the things that you'll see in a second here when I show you the leftovers are just things that I liked. I might have liked the taste, but I thought that they weren't necessarily worth spending my appetite or hunger on, because there are things that I enjoyed far more. So those are also questions that you can ask yourself if you have a tendency to overeat or kind of go a little too hard when it comes to buffets or going out to restaurants or any sort of situation like that. Here are some of the leftovers from my first plate. You can kind of see some of the stuff that I decided that I really didn't want to eat, even though I might have enjoyed it. After that plate, I really sat down and went through the same decision-making pattern. What would appeal to my taste buds right now? What is worth my appetite to eat right now? And so I did get some extra rice and some butter chicken. So I'm gonna be honest and transparent with you guys. I did feel really full and kind of stuffed for the rest of the day, so I definitely overate, but not as much as I had before, which is an improvement in itself, because before, if I didn't track, or if I didn't track something, my mentality would just be really, really frantic and chaotic and rushed, because I would feel the need to eat everything regardless of whether I actually enjoyed the food or not. So I feel like this was definitely an improvement. But anyway, after the gym about 8:30 p.m., once I did get my appetite back a little bit, we went to go get froyo with the Cookie Panda. I did have a protein shake in addition, just to get my protein in, but I was being really picky about what and how much I put in my bowl, where before I would just throw on everything, every chocolate topping that I could get my hands on. I was being really picky about choosing what I would actually be enjoying in the moment. And then when I was eating my froyo, again, very, very slowly, I was really paying attention to the tastes and textures that weren't really necessarily as appealing as I had expected them to be, and I made a conscious decision to not eat them and spend my appetite on something that I would actually enjoy more. So here you can see some of the toppings that I actually ended up picking out just because I had either had enough of them and the flavors or textures were no longer appealing, or I just didn't really enjoy them enough to spend my appetite on. Now this is really challenging for me, and I'm sure it seems super nitpicky to a lot of you just because it feels really wasteful for me not to eat food. But on the other hand, if you're no longer enjoying food, if you're satiated, if you're not really hungry anymore, but if you're eating it just to finish it off, there's not really a point to that either. So instead of eating stuff just to finish the plate, which is kind of treating your body like a garbage disposal if you think about it, if you're just putting stuff in there to get rid of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and if any of this has resonated with you, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. If you're liking these kinds of videos, if you'd like to see something else. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Hit that like button for me, and as always, don't stop growing.